If you ever love me, you will do this for me. Son, I don't have much time left. My only wish is that you get married before I die.
Grandpa, you have been saying that ever since I was 17. You have outlived your parrot and 2 wives. Don't worry, I think you are good.
Son, I found you a wife. Her name is Jenny. A wife? Dad, I'm not ready. It's arranged. Date her for 6 months.
This is crazy. Grandpa, is this a joke? A teacher for me? Look, I run a billion-dollar empire.
This is no joke, son. If you ever love me, you will do this for me.
Okay, Grandpa, I will date her.
For you.
Let's get the 6 months over and done with.
Theo was the kind of man who could close $1 million deal before breakfast, but panic at the thought of a relationship lasting longer than 90 days. At 29 years old, he was already the CEO of Gabriel Industries, one of the largest manufacturing companies in the country. Tall, handsome, rich, and absolutely allergic to commitment. Theo had a rule. 3 months. No relationship lasted longer than that. His friends joked that his relationships had an expiration date printed on them like milk cartons. But Theo didn't care. He had seen what marriage looked like growing up. His parents spent 29 years together, and barely spoke for 20 of them. Love, to Theo, was a trap, and he had no intention of falling into it. But there was one man who refused to give up on him. His grandfather, Grandpa Gabriel, the founder of the entire empire. A man who had built his fortune from making aluminum window frames in a small workshop. Now he owned factories, properties, and businesses across the country. Yet none of that mattered to him anymore. There was only one thing he wanted before he died: to see Theo married. And if possible, a great-grandchild. Every Sunday the two of them went fishing. And every Sunday the conversation somehow returned to the same topic: marriage. One afternoon, Grandpa Gabriel looked at Theo seriously. "Boy, I'm not getting any younger." Theo sighed. "Grandpa, you've been saying that since I was 17. Grandpa pointed his finger. "This time I mean it." Theo smirked. "You outlived your parrot, 2 wives, and Netflix password rules. I think you'll be fine." Grandpa didn't laugh. Instead he leaned forward. "If you loved me, you'd get married before I die." Theo groaned. "Grandpa, please." But Grandpa had already made a new rule. Whoever produced the first heir in the family would inherit the largest share of the empire. Theo's sister Catherine already had a boyfriend. Grandpa looked at Theo dramatically. "Tick-tock, Theo. Tick-tock." Theo rolled his eyes. "Grandpa, I run a billion-dollar company." "Yes." Grandpa nodded. "And yet you can't manage one woman." One morning, Grandpa Gabriel went for his usual walk near a small elementary school. That's when he saw her. Jenny, a young school teacher surrounded by laughing children. She knelt beside a crying little boy who had scraped his knee. "Hey, hey, brave soldiers don't cry." She wiped his tears. "Look at me. You're stronger than this." The boy stopped crying immediately. Then she hugged him. Grandpa Gabriel watched carefully, listened patiently, and treated every child like they mattered. Grandpa's eyes widened. "This is her." He kept watching. Jenny helped a girl tie her shoelaces. Then she shared her lunch with a student who forgot theirs. Grandpa whispered to himself, "Wife material." And then, a brilliant idea struck him. As Jenny walked past him on the sidewalk, Grandpa suddenly collapsed to the ground. Jenny rushed over instantly. "Oh my goodness. Sir, are you okay?" She helped him sit up. "Are you hurt?" Grandpa pretended to struggle. "My legs, they are weak." Jenny grabbed her water bottle. "Please drink this." She even offered to call a taxi or take him home herself. Grandpa nearly forgot he was pretending. He thought, "Theo is marrying this woman." End of discussion. Before leaving, Jenny said kindly, "If you ever need help again, please call me." She handed him her business card. Grandpa looked at the card like it was a winning lottery ticket. The moment she walked away, he suddenly stood up perfectly fine. Yes. A passerby stared at him. Sir, weren't you dying 2 seconds ago? That night, Grandpa marched straight into Theo's company nightclub. Theo was partying with his friends. Music, lights, champagne, and about 6 women competing for his attention. Then suddenly the music stopped. Someone whispered, "Isn't that your grandfather?" Theo turned around and nearly choked on his drink. Grandpa Gabriel stood at the entrance like a military general ready for battle. Theo rushed over. "Grandpa, what are you doing here?" His friends laughed. "Your old man came to arrest you." Grandpa grabbed Theo's arm. "We need to talk. Now." Theo sighed. "Grandpa, can this wait?" "No." They went outside. This woman. Theo read the card. Jenny, primary school teacher. Theo blinked. "Grandpa, is this a joke? You will date her?" Theo laughed. "Absolutely not." Grandpa stared at him. "If you have ever loved me, you will go on a date with her every weekend for 6 months." Theo froze. 6 months? Yes. Theo threw the card into a trash bin. But later that night, he went back, picked the card out of the trash, and stared at it. "Fine, Grandpa. I'll do it." Theo picked up the discarded business card from the bin. He felt a strange mix of apprehension and curiosity. "All right, Grandpa," he said, "I'll do it. For you." Theo said he will go and meet her on Friday and arrange a date. "We will just get the 6 months over and done with. I know without even meeting her she is not my type." After his promise to his grandpa, Theo went to look for Jenny. The main reason why Theo agreed to meet Jenny was, Grandpa Gabriel had opened up to him and showed him his medical records, and told him he might die any day, and did not have long to live. Theo was touched by Grandpa's story and decided he will do his best to make his last days happy. Theo arrived at Jenny's school and asked for her. Jenny wondered why a handsome, rich young man was looking for her. She thought the young rich man had come to the wrong Jenny. But when he explained Grandpa's incident of how they met, Jenny remembered Grandpa Gabriel. Theo talked about his grandpa's dying wish, which he wanted to fulfill. Theo knew that this sounded crazy, so he added that he was prepared to pay her for playing this role. Jenny declined being paid, but agreed to help him. Well, she had nothing to lose and was bored most weekends. Hanging out with a handsome, rich young man was definitely going to be interesting. Theo expected the dates to be a disaster. The first date between Jenny and Theo was filled with awkward quietness and polite smiles. The two were worlds apart and were failing to find common interests. Jenny met him outside the school. Simple dress. No makeup. Hair tied neatly. Nothing like the glamorous women he usually dated. This first date was painfully awkward. They barely spoke. Jenny kept sipping her juice quietly. But something strange happened over the next few weeks. Jenny introduced him to things he had never experienced. Watching the sunset, this was something Theo had never done before. As they sat side by side watching the sun melt slowly into the horizon, their hands rested close on the warm sand. Then, almost by accident, Theo's fingers brushed against hers. It was only a simple touch, barely more than a whisper of contact, yet something electric passed between them. Theo felt a strange warmth rush through him, like a quiet spark running up his arm and settling somewhere deep in his chest. Neither of them moved away. For a moment they simply sat there, aware of that small connection, both wondering how something so simple could feel so impossible to explain. It was so romantic, and above all it had a calming effect. Which was exactly what Theo needed after a stressful day at work. When they got back to Jenny's house, Theo told her that he had a great day, and he was looking forward to more interesting days. Jenny blushed and smiled. She never thought she could ever make him happy. He felt so distant when they first met. The sunset event sparked the beginning of a series of exciting outings. Each outing bring the two closer together. Jenny taught Theo how to enjoy the simple things in life. She was teaching him to appreciate nature and the world around him. She would tell him how some things in life are for free yet so enjoyable, like watching the sunset. You do not always have to spend lots of money to have a good time, she would say. And so, they fed ducks at the park. Cooked simple meals together. One night she taught him how to make chicken in mushroom sauce served with pasta. Theo laughed. I run 5 factories but I can't boil spaghetti. Jenny smiled. You're learning. For the first time in years, Theo felt peaceful. No drama. No competition. Just calm. He would look at her curiously. And he was beginning to notice things that he had never noticed before. Her smile and the way her eyes glinted under the morning light. Jenny was actually stunningly beautiful, but she never flaunted her beauty. Theo was really enjoying some home-cooked meals at Jenny's house. None of the girls he dated knew how to cook. After food they would take long walks and admire nature. Jenny listened to Theo practice his speeches and gave him constructive feedback. Jenny was becoming a very important person in Theo's life. He relied on her on a number of issues. She brought calm and peace in his life. A genuine friendship started to develop. During the times Theo was with Jenny, he had laughed more times than he had done his entire life. The awkwardness melted and the polite smiles transformed into genuine laughter. Theo was now so used to taking Jenny out every weekend. However, he still did not believe he may have romantic feelings for her, but considered her a very good friend. He refused to admit what was happening, the attraction, the peace he felt around her. He told himself it was just friendship. Jenny decided to surprise Theo. She packed homemade lunch and visited his company. At the reception desk stood the marketing manager, Vanessa, a glamorous woman who once dated Theo. She noticed Jenny immediately. Vanessa looked Jenny up and down with disgust. Jenny smiled politely. Hello. I'm here to see Theo. Vanessa crossed her arms. Do you have an appointment? No, but I brought him lunch. Vanessa laughed loudly. You? She whispered to the receptionist. Look at how she's dressed. Jenny held out the food container. Could you please give this to him? Vanessa grabbed it. Opened it. Then smirked. Trying to trap my boss with village food? Jenny looked confused. I'm sorry. Vanessa suddenly threw the lunch into the trash. Jenny gasped. That was for him. Vanessa snapped her fingers at the security guards. Remove her. Jenny protested. Please wait. Then suddenly a voice thundered behind them. What is going on here? Theo. Everyone froze. Theo looked at the trash. Then at Jenny. Then at Vanessa. What did you do? Vanessa stuttered. I will not have you disrespect my people. The entire office went silent. Vanessa tried apologizing. I didn't know she. Theo stepped past her. Ignored her completely. Come with me. They walked to his office. Jenny looked embarrassed. My lunch is gone. Theo sighed. I'm sorry. He thought for a moment. Then smiled. How about this? Let me call it a day here, and we go grab some lunch and movie later. That sounds like a plan, Jenny said as they left the office. The movie played quietly in the background, its flickering light dancing across the room. They sat close together on the couch, their shoulders nearly touching, both pretending to focus on the screen. Then, as Theo reached for the popcorn bowl at the same moment she did, their fingers brushed. Just a fleeting contact, but it felt like a current passing between them. Theo felt it instantly, a sudden warmth traveling from his fingertips straight through his chest, stealing his breath for a moment. It was strange how something so small could carry so much meaning. Neither of them spoke. Neither pulled away. Their hands lingered close together on the couch, both silently aware that the briefest touch had awakened something neither of them yet understood. Theo wondered why a simple girl like Jenny had such a strong impact on her. She had aroused feelings in him that he thought he never had. Theo had dated models, chief executive officers, even pilots, but none of them had this much impact on him. During the 6th month of going out with Jenny, Grandpa hosted an event to announce Theo as the new owner of the business. The event had some of the most powerful people in the country, and Jenny was also invited. She wore a beautiful body-hugging red evening dress that emphasized her curves. When she entered the room, even Theo's jaw dropped in shock. Jenny looked very beautiful. Theo had never seen Jane look so classy and pretty. Jane had let go of her usual modest look and transformed into a powerhouse and a captivating beauty. Even though Theo continued to entertain his guests, he could not help glancing at Jenny, who was laughing heartily with guests. Theo was feeling jealous. What made Theo more unsettled was that 3 of his friends were putting pressure on him to introduce them to Jenny so that they could possibly date her. His friends were really cool guys, with good jobs and good personalities. Why am I feeling jealousy? I have to introduce Jenny, Theo said to himself. After so much pressure, Theo introduced Jenny to his friends, and to his surprise, Jenny was excited and was having good conversations with Theo's friends. That really got him stressed up. After the party, when Theo got into bed, he kept thinking about how Jenny looked tonight, how she stimulated some feelings that he thought he never had for Jenny. Is this love that I am feeling, or am I just being jealous? Theo asked himself. Now Theo couldn't tell whether what he was feeling for Jenny was love or a strong friendship bond. The following day, Theo received a call that Jenny had been involved in a car accident. Theo's reaction was surprising. He just asked which hospital, and without paying attention to the rest of the information, he dropped everything, grabbed his keys and drove as fast as he could. His heart was pounding. The fear of losing Jenny scared him to the bone. On the way to the hospital, Theo was crying and praying to God to save Jenny. When he got to the hospital, Jenny was out of danger but still sleeping. Theo knelt by Jenny's bedside, held her hand and said, "Please be okay. I did not know how much I loved you until today." This incident made Theo realize that he actually loved Jenny, and that it was no longer just a routine but real love. Then she stroked his hair, and she asked why he never told her he had fallen in love with her. Theo said it was a long story. All he knew was she was the one he loved. He knew he had a special connection with her that he never had with anyone before. Jenny pulled him so that she could hug him. She told him she felt the same way too, but didn't know how to express it. After Jenny got out of the hospital, Theo told Grandpa that he would marry Jenny at the end of the year. That was the best news Grandpa ever heard in a long time. His wish had come true. Now he could die a happy man. However, seeing Theo get married actually helped Grandpa recover. Grandpa lived to see his great-grandson. He lived to see Theo become a responsible, steady, and loving husband. He passed on 7 years later due to old age. He died a happy man. The moral of the story is that sometimes we find love in the least expected places and people. Love is not always about class, beauty, glamour, and powerful careers. Love can just be about spending quality time with someone who adores you, who is head over heels in love with you, who respects you, and who makes you laugh. Real love is about kindness, patience, and the person who stands beside you when life gets hard and everyone else disappears. If you enjoyed this story, please take a moment to subscribe, like the story, and tell us where you were watching from in the comment section.